How's it going, guys? My name is Gavin Williams alongside
Charlie Caleri.
and this is the Out of Bounds podcast. So my name is Gavin. I'm from the good old city of Utica, New York.
I'm Charlie. I'm from Buffalo, New York. Better city.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
But we're just big sports lovers. We love the game. We're both college students, just some college kids fooling around.
Mm-hmm.
And today, our topic is the relocation in sports.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about NBA, NHL, NFL, and MLB. We're going to go through and we're going to list some cities that we think deserve or potentially deserve expansion franchises in each league.
I mean, with all major four sports leagues, they're growing so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the sports are growing by the day, by the hour, by the second.
In every way, too.
Every way.
Yeah.
And any city is bound to get a major league sport at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the NFL has 32, so does the NHL. NBA has 30.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
MLB is 30.
MLB has 30. There are just so many different variations of cities. Now, we're going to kick off some cities that deserve a team is what we're basically going to get into.
Before we start, Gavin, we got to mention this. There's been expansion recently. I know it was the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a lot of expansion in the four leagues, and now we're seeing it in, the NHL's added 2 teams in the last, how many years? 5-6 years.
Yeah, they're growing.
NBA's
fast.
expanding soon that we know of. NFL has been rumored about. Every league has been rumored about. Even the NHL, even as recent as they expanded.
I think we're going to kick off this episode by starting with one of the most famous leagues out there as of right now that's growing even more, it seems, is the NBA. I mean, back in the day, I remember when I was a kid, college basketball, that was the world.
Yeah.
But now I just feel like with everybody skipping college nowadays, I think NBA is a great start.
And I have a little bit of, I started watching NBA more than college. I didn't start watching college until about high school. But I've been watching NBA since I started watching sports regularly. I think that's just the difference in our towns.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, Syracuse is big around the Utica area.
I mean, Syracuse is about 45 minutes right from my driveway, so being a Syracuse all-time fan, I didn't really get into the NBA until 5th, 6th grade, actually.
Really?
I mean, I always had a favorite team, but...
Yeah, I would probably gotten out around the same time, but I was not into college at all.
We're going to kick this off with the NBA. I think my first, which everybody who's listening right now, everybody should be agreeing right now, Seattle needs a team.
Seattle.
Absolutely.
And it needs to be named the Supersonics.
If it's not, I don't even want a Seattle team.
Don't even want it.
No, absolutely not. We need a Seattle team.
There's been so many legendary basketball players from the city of Seattle. Isaiah Thomas, Jamal Crawford. You got all these guys.
And people who played there. I mean, you think about Sean Kemp. You think about Gary Payton.
You think about Gary Payton?
I mean, KD even started there.
KD did start there.
KD played a year, right? Year or two.
KD played his rookie year.
Played his rookie year.
The Sonics, the last
before
year.
They picked up and moved away.
Before they moved to OKC.
And those Seattle fans, they were pissed.
Yeah, and you can see now that, there's a market for Seattle. Look at the Seahawks. They got the 12th
The Mariners.
The Mariners, they're up and coming right now. And then you got the Kraken, who they've
beautiful
been playing
stadium.
Beautiful,
absolutely.
And their fans have shown up.
They're selling out.
They have one of the highest attendance rates in the league.
Absolutely.
And Seattle, they already have an arena.
It's perfect. Brand new.
Perfect.
Brand spanking new.
There's been many NBA players that said they want to.
Especially KD. KD was one of those. Yep. Actually, I saw an interview where he said Seattle, and then the reporter was trying to be funny and asked what they would be called, and he goes, the Sonics.
Yeah. Everybody said the Sonics. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's our first. That's our first team.
Yeah, and I also have Seattle on my list too. So that's
so we both created lists, and we are that's our mutual. We have a couple more.
Yep. So our second mutual one, and this is kind of the consensus number 2, but we're gonna get into 3 and 4 and potentially 5.
Absolutely.
After this one, second one, Las Vegas, Nevada.
That is a growing hot spot right now.
Hot spot for sports.
Hot spot.
You got the Raiders just moved there.
And they're kicking it.
The Knights were the first ones there.
Yeah,
and
they went to the Cup in the first year.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if they didn't go to the Cup in the first year. What happens?
You never know.
That might be another episode.
That might be another episode.
Right,
we'll
stay tuned for that one.
Stay tuned. But so with Vegas, since it's such a hot spot right now, you have to just think about what that what the fan base would be like. He's playing in the same arena, obviously, as the Knights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember watching those games in the first year that they were in the league, and they were hot. Now, Charles,
Vegas is a great.
Yeah, Vegas has to be. I think
we'll be
those
hearing
are the top two.
We'll be here in Vegas again.
Absolutely.
During this
oh,
episode.
absolutely. Stay in tune
Stay in tune.
for more sports. Obviously not NFL, but just keep it in the back of your pocket. So our last mutual interest, I think, could be a sleeper pick.
It is a
absolutely.
Sleeper pick. And I'm surprised we both had this, but
yeah.
I think it's a good market. I think there's a good reason for it too for Gavin at least.
We don't gotta get into that one.
Let's get into it.
The team's called the St. Louis Blues, and they're looking for a neighbor.
Yeah.
They're looking for a neighbor inside the same arena. I think St. Louis is a great market.
Yep, it is. And, there's a couple NBA players, but most notably, Jason Tatum is from St. Louis. So, Gavin, you being a Celtics fan, how do you feel about that?
My dreams would be crushed forever. Jason Tatum, obviously my favorite player. Jaylen Brown's a second. A very close second. But I think if there's a St. Louis team, Jason Tatum is demanding a trade, demanding the highest contract, anything. He wants to move back home, which is unfortunate.
Yep.
So I hope this one doesn't happen. But I can very well see this one happening in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, I know in NBA 2K there's a expansion team that is a St. Louis team. I don't know what the name is, but I know that
we don't even need to know the name at this point.
I mean, the Blues, they do well. They just won a cup a few years ago.
Yeah.
They sell out that arena.
But
even now when they're not that great, the Cardinals, they do well. And then look at this. We're looking at the XFL now, a new league. They're selling out games in the football stadium.
And the Battlehawks, right?
Yeah, there's definitely a market in St. Louis for an NBA team.
Absolutely.
And there's no big college teams around there in the St. Louis area. I mean, they got St. Louis University, but other than that, unless I'm forgetting somebody.
St. Louis University, also known as one of the rivals to the good old St. Bonaventure University.
Oh, love the Bonnies.
Love the Bonnies.
Gotta love the Bonnies. Go Bonnies. Now on to my fourth team, the last team that I have listed for the NBA. Gavin has two more.
I do.
My last one is Louisville, Kentucky. And I am only saying Louisville because I know that there's fans there that love basketball, first off. But they want good basketball. Better than what they're getting right now.
Being a longtime Syracuse fan, I've been watching Louisville against Syracuse for years. Years. And Louisville without Rick Pitino, you could tell there was a big drop in that program. I think ever since like that 2014, you could slowly see it. But once Rick was gone, it's in shambles.
Look at it now.
It's in shambles. They're bottom three in the ACC right now. I mean,
bottom one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think Louisville's a good market. I just think there's too many college fans there. That's like if you put it in Kentucky.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Louisville. I mean, they don't have another.
It is in Kentucky. I'm not saying that. I'm saying University of Kentucky.
I've been to Kentucky.
Oh yeah,
I've been there.
I've never been.
But they don't have another pro sports team in Louisville. That's one of the reasons why I think they'd be good.
You think that could be like a spark to the market?
I think it could be because you look at the NBA, they're notorious for having teams that are just by themselves. They got Sacramento, they got Utah, and they have San Antonio.
Stay tuned for Utah, by the way.
And they have more than that. I mean, Orlando, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a few of them.
Just to name a few.
Yeah, but it's just like that city. I think fits the NBA's. I guess standard. What they're looking for. Yeah, their standard. I guess that's I think it fits it really well.
So I have another two where Charles does not have them on his list, but one of them I think Charlie should like. I'd say Buffalo, New York, right in the KeyBank Center, home of the Buffalo Sabres.
And Gavin, as much as I would love that, I don't think there's a big enough market from firsthand experience. We barely sold out the March Madness last year. First and second round was in Buffalo, and I mean it was packed. But
I think if you put a professional sport, because you already have two. You have the Bills, right in Orchard Park, which is 15 minutes.
Yep.
15 minutes away. You have the Sabres,
yep,
right in the middle of smack dab downtown Buffalo. Yep. If you put another team right in the middle of Buffalo, I think that can grow really quick. And I know there might be a lot of Raptors fans right across the water.
Yeah.
But I mean, you start a team in Buffalo. I mean, that's why you like the Clippers. I mean, let's get into that.
So they started. Yeah. So the LA Clippers franchise started in Buffalo. They were the Buffalo Braves. Bob McAdoo was on the team.
Legend. Clipper legend.
MVP of the league.
Actually, Brave legend too.
Brave legend. Yeah.
Buffalo Brave legend.
Yeah. So I'm a Clippers fan. Just because they used to be the Buffalo Braves. They moved to San Diego. Now they're in LA. It's been a long road of being a Clippers fan, but
Poverty franchise.
We're staying hopeful for the future.
Yeah, we'll see.
But personally, for me, I mean, I would love it if Buffalo got a team, but I don't think it's necessary for the city. Or I mean, it would be great for the city, but I don't think the NBA would be looking into Buffalo, even though they were there previously.
Yeah, I could see that. I just think if you were to bring back Buffalo, just like the Supersonics, it would have to be the Braves. It would have to be.
Yeah, it would have to be the Braves. It would have to be the Braves.
And I don't want anything else. I don't want Buffalo Bison 2.0. Nope, don't want any of that.
No.
And that brings me to my last NBA city. And I think this is another sleeper pick. I think this is great.
Yep.
And the Kansas City Stadium there, what was it called?
T-Mobile
Yeah.
Arena?
If you guys have never seen it, please just take a Google search.
Yo, beautiful.
Oh my goodness. They play the Big 12 there?
Beautiful. I think they do the Big 12 championship there, and they're playing the Sweet 16 Elite 8 there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's insane.
Yeah.
You just look up a couple pictures. I think this could definitely. I mean, you got the Royals, you got the Chiefs. Now just bring an NBA team in there.
Yep.
Just bring an NBA team.
I think it would fit right in. I mean, Kansas City had a team, right? They were the Royals.
I think so.
They used
Yeah,
to be
back
the
in the
Kings
day.
with Oscar Robertson.
Yep.
I think he played there. So they, just like Buffalo, even though it was a long time ago, they have an experience with the NBA.
Yep.
And Kansas City is one of the teams that has been talked about alongside Seattle and Vegas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, that does conclude the NBA portion of the podcast. I think we're going to move on now to the NHL, which a lot of people could be like, wow, they just brought 2 new teams in, but why not just add a couple more? I mean, we're going to talk about a couple. And Charlie and I have 4. I mean, you have 4?
I also have 4.
All
And we
right.
only cross over on one of the 4.
We'll start with that one since
start
we
with
just
that one.
talked about it.
Yeah, it's Kansas City, Missouri.
Come on now. I mean, that thing's beautiful. That venue, absolutely beautiful.
It is. And I think we might be hyping it up a little bit too much. I've never been in there, but it looks very nice from the outside, from the pictures we've seen.
Absolutely.
And they have a minor league team right now called the Kansas City Mavericks. I don't think they play in that arena. I think it's a little bit too big for them.
Yep.
But they have a hockey team there. They have a market, just like we said with the NBA.
Yeah.
They have fans.
Yeah.
They sell out for Chiefs games, obviously. The Royals won a World Series less than 10 years ago. They have the fan base. They have the stadium. They just need to put a team in there.
And you put 2 major league sports in there,
Yep.
it's over.
Yeah, they
Kansas
have
City's
all
winning.
4 then.
They're winning every year.
Yeah.
They have Mahomes.
I'm sure Mahomes
don't
would be
care.
in the ownership group, too.
Absolutely. He's already an owner of the Royals, right?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Okay, this brings me back to my next point of another basketball team who needs a neighbor.
Yep.
And I think this is a great city. Salt Lake City, Utah.
Wow.
Come on, Utah's fans are insane. They love the
They are.
game. But if you put a hockey team in there, I mean, if it works for Vegas, if it works for Arizona,
Yeah.
it's got to work.
It's a great city. It's
Beautiful.
instantly would be rivals
Beautiful.
with the Avalanche.
And there you go.
Instantly.
There you go.
So you have teams around them. I mean, Vegas, I'm sure they would try to make something with Vegas too.
Absolutely.
But it is a great city. They just hosted the All-Star game.
They did.
Yeah.
They absolutely did. And it's like I said, I'm just going to keep saying this. Like, it's a nice venue. I mean, you look at Utah, you look at the history. I mean, let's just start with basketball. You look at the history. You have Karl Malone, Stockton. And then if you were to just have, like, a Gretzky when he played, if you had him in Utah, like, now, like, that's another name. I mean,
Cold City.
Jaromir Jagr, you never know. He could have
Legend.
gone there. One of his 9 teams, like Utah could
He's
have been
still
one of
playing.
those.
He could very much
bring him over. He's
he could
52.
very much play for the.
If he's
Would they
50
be called Would they be called Utah something or Salt Lake City something?
I think stick with Utah.
Utah?
If you have the Utah name in there already, just keep the Utah.
Keep it
name.
consistent with the Jazz. Yeah.
Like the Utah Mountains or something. I don't know.
Mountains?
The mountains.
That's a crazy name, Gavin. The Mountains. Wow.
But this brings us to Charlie's first one
Yeah.
off the list.
So my first one off the list, and this is one that I'm a big advocate for. Quebec City.
I
they-
completely agree.
As we know, the Nordiques were there.
Yep, they
They
were.
left, and they moved to Colorado.
Yeah,
They moved to Colorado.
Heartbreaking Quebec.
They won the cup in the first year in Colorado.
They did.
They did.
They absolutely did.
But Quebec, instant rivalry with Montreal. They be named the Nordiques.
Yeah.
That,
Oh,
just like the Supersonics.
Just like the Supersonics.
yeah.
You cannot name anything else.
Can't be anything different.
Instant rivalry with whoever's in Canada.
Yep.
You put them against the Canadians.
Yeah,
Maple
they all
Leafs.
got. There's big rivalries within the little rivalries. You know,
I mean,
you got the Battle of Alberta.
Yeah,
you know, you
Calgary
got
and
Oilers and
Edmonton,
Flames.
yeah.
Then you got the little ones between like the Flames and the Canucks.
Yeah, there's a little
you know?
one there. I mean,
and you got the the Leafs versus everybody basically.
Yeah.
And then you got the Winnipeg Jets. They're kind of just there.
the Winnipeg. I
They're kind
completely forgot
of. They're
about
kind
that.
of just in the middle there.
What a goalie, by the way.
What a Connor Hellebuck's an insane
Wow.
goalie.
Wow.
Insane on shell.
Play him in shell. Just see what
You're
happens.
gonna regret it.
Just see what happens.
But Quebec is a city that's due in the province.
Due. I
The,
like
the
that.
province of Quebec is due
Absolutely.
potentially for another expansion team, which we could get to later in this episode.
You never know.
Never know.
With this, you never know. My next city is gonna be Milwaukee. I think having the Bucks and having the Packers right down the corner,
They need a neighbor.
they need a neighbor.
Yeah.
And bring in Milwaukee. I
Yeah.
mean, and they have a baseball team.
Don't
They-
forget about the Brewers.
I'm not.
Yeah.
And they're only missing one team. Just
Yep.
fill the little gap. Fill the gap.
And honestly, I mean, the Packers are an iconic team. Green Bay's a little bit away from Milwaukee, but we group them
Yeah.
in. But
But it's still Wisconsin.
It is still Wisconsin,
Wisconsin.
nonetheless. But when you think of that region, you think of Minnesota, you think of Wisconsin, you think of Michigan.
That's hockey right
That's
there.
hockey right there.
Right
And
there.
For Milwaukee to not have an NHL
That's a
team.
crime. It's a
Yeah,
crime.
I feel like it's a crime. They have an AHL team, the
Yeah.
Admirals.
Yeah.
Um,
Forgot about those.
yeah, and they do not play in the Bucks.
I don't think
arena.
so.
I don't
No.
think so. But if they do,
Kudos.
kudos. I'm sure they get great attendance in that arena. Milwaukee's a very much a big enough city. I mean, one of our friends is from Milwaukee.
Absolutely.
And
What a guy.
he says it's a great, Will. Shout out to Will.
Shout out to Will.
Uh,
He's had a goal last night.
he did. Great city, and yeah, I think they deserve a team.
Absolutely.
My next team is. I mean, I'm surprised that this city does not have a team
Let's hear
at
it.
this point.
Let's
And the
hear it.
NHL's been rumored about this very recently. It's Houston. And
Okay.
Houston have the Astros, the Rockets,
The Texans.
and the Texans.
Absolutely.
And they
I mean,
need
look-
that fourth. They're definitely top 5 in the country in
Biggest city.
population.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for them not to have I know what people are going to say. It's Texas. It's the South.
Look at
the Stars.
Look at the Stars.
They have over 100% attendance rate. You're telling me Houston can't do that with more people in the city?
I think if you put a hockey team in the same venue as the Rockets, I mean, and now Harden's gone,
Yep.
young team,
hmm
bring in the hockey to save them.
They could build
Save
together.
their confidence.
They could build together.
They can build together.
Yeah. And I mean, the Rockets have had a rough go of it recently.
Yeah, our friend
After a really good run.
our friend Ian Kennedy, he's in the slumps right now. Actually,
He is, but he'll rebound.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
loves Jalen Green.
He does love Jalen Green.
All right, Houston was a good one. But for my next one, Cleveland, this is for you.
Wow.
Bring it into Cleveland. Absolutely. I mean, you already have Cincinnati and the Browns. I mean, they're rivals.
Mhm.
Now give the Blue Jackets a rival.
Yeah.
Who is the rival?
They need one.
I mean, maybe the Penguins. I don't know.
Maybe.
But give them a distinct rival.
Yeah, and I mean they have a team in the arena. The AHL, the Cleveland Monsters.
Really?
The Cleveland
the
Monsters.
Monsters play there?
The Cleveland Monsters.
They used to be the Lake Erie Monsters.
They did used to be the Lake Erie
I
Monsters.
remember this.
They
used to
also
play the
have.
Comets.
I mean that whole. They have another team in there, in that arena.
Oh, maybe.
I think it's an arena football league.
Really?
Yeah.
The AFL.
The AFL.
Wow. Albany has one. Shout out New York State.
Shout out New York State. Cleveland. They have already
The
3.
Cavs.
They already have
And
3.
they have Cavs.
And why not fill the 4th? We're
It's
talking
just
about.
like the other ones.
We're
too.
talking about filling all 4 sports leagues, Cleveland.
We have Milwaukee, we have Houston, now we got Cleveland. I mean, we can just keep going.
And what are the chances that this team is bad too?
I mean, I hope they could make it over the bumps and bruises to get over the humps.
Get over the humps. Cleveland also had an NHL team in the past. They did.
What were they
The
called?
Cleveland Barons.
The Barons.
The Barons.
God name the Barons.
They were a team. They were a team for I think 2 or 3 seasons.
Oh wow.
And they went bankrupt. They went bankrupt.
Lovely.
My final city for the NHL, and this one Gavin does not like. It's Atlanta, Georgia.
You know, all right. Atlanta, they have the Falcons.
Passionate fans.
They have the Braves. Now, why would you bring in another NHL team that's gone 0-2? I mean, you could say you have 3 strikes.
Yeah.
No, not when it comes to money
Not with
and
sports
markets.
teams. Yeah.
I mean,
But can I give you an argument for that?
I mean, between the Flames and the Thrashers.
Yeah.
All right, please, man.
So, Atlanta now. So they were in when the Thrashers were there. It was Phillips Arena. That's gone. That arena's gone. That's one of the reasons why they left. Is because of the arena. They had bad attendance, which is something that was.
But the Hawks are.
The Hawks have great attendance.
Yeah.
Now, attendance could be an issue for Atlanta. I mean, it's a southern city. It's not a very hockey prominent city, but it could be. The product on the ice for the Thrashers was not great
No.
at all. So I think that
not.
was part of it, and the arena combined. I think you give them another chance. I think you. I
You
don't
have
know.
to rename them.
I don't think you. Yeah, I do not think you call them the Thrashers. I think that's just a past team that you'll look
You
back.
never want to remember that team.
Exactly.
Never.
I mean, I think it could be a cool city where you could make up a cool identity with the city,
Yeah.
and it could be.
I mean, Hawks and Falcons. I mean, you already have 2.
Yeah,
right?
you already
Like,
have 2 birds.
I don't think you go another bird though.
Thrasher is a bird.
A Thrasher
It's
is
the
a bird.
state bird.
Really?
It's the state bird of Atlanta
But you
or
can't
of
go back.
Georgia.
You can't go back.
I don't think you can go back to
Can't go
Thrashers. It would probably be a name finalist for the team,
I think so too.
but they have a team also. They have a team in the ECHL. It's called the Atlanta
The
Gladiators.
fact that you know this.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
It's called the Atlanta Gladiators, and they have a team. So there's still hockey down there. So, I mean, that would be an interesting city to see if they would back to that. See if they would strike out for the 3rd time, or it would be a success.
Straight through your out, I think. All right. I mean, now we're bringing it over. We're going right to the NFL.
Yep.
And I think this is one of the markets where this is a much needed expansion. I think out of this and MLB, they're the 2 most
Yep.
important leagues to expand.
Yep. I mean, the NBA, they have 30, right?
Yep.
They're tied with the MLB for the lowest amount left. There is so much talent in these leagues there is so much.
I mean, look at the XFL and the USFL. I mean, there's still talent.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, why have so many guys on a practice squad
Exactly.
when you can just fill the gaps?
Yep.
I mean,
And that could be a topic for another episode about the XFL and USFL.
Absolutely.
And their relationship with the NFL.
Keep it in the back of your
potentially
head, guys.
Future. NFL. There is one city we crossed over on.
Only one.
Only one.
This one could be an obvious one to many NFL fans out there.
Yeah, and we're going straight back to St. Louis.
Right back to them.
Right back to St. Louis.
They're selling out. XFL games.
Can't call them the Rams.
No, you
No,
can't.
can't call them the Rams.
But I think there's a lot of different ideas in the history of St. Louis
Mm-hmm.
that I think they can come up with a really smart name.
No, I don't have an idea for a name. In my
I don't
head.
either. I mean,
but
I'm not from
I do
St. Louis.
know.
Let's get Jason Tatum on the.
I do know
hotline.
that. I know that those fans want a team.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the XFL games.
Yep.
I mean, they're selling out every game, and it's XFL.
Yep.
It's not even the NFL, the granddaddy of
Yep.
all football.
Yep.
I mean, come on, let's go, St. Louis.
I hope St. Louis gets a team. They deserve one. I think they would need to renovate their stadium
A little bit.
or build a new one. But the NFL hasn't expanded since 2002 when the Texans came.
Yeah,
in.
and the Texans, as everybody could see, you know what they should probably move to.
No.
No, I'm just joking.
Texans are good.
All right, this is gonna bring me to my next city, which I love, and I already said this one. Let's go right back down to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Wow.
I mean, this city. I mean, you give them an NHL team, you give them and then you give them an NFL team. I mean, I think that city is booming. They're buzzing. That city is. Those boys are buzzing.
Those boys are buzzing.
I think a Salt Lake City football team. Now that sounds pretty cool to me.
Now, Gavin, I don't think of football when I think of Salt Lake City.
But you could.
But
you could.
I could.
You could.
But I don't.
But it'll happen.
Right now. But that it would be named Utah, just like the potential.
It would have to be Utah.
Potential NHL team.
It would have to be named Utah. You have to continue it around the whole state.
And they have. I mean, the Utah Utes football team.
And I don't think the Utes are all that, in my opinion.
But their fans show up.
Exactly.
That's my point.
And that's the point.
Their fans show up.
They needed a prestigious NFL team or football team that can just go in and have fun.
Yeah.
Let the boys play.
Just like the NHL, instant rivalry probably with the Broncos, right? Probably with the Raiders.
Kansas City.
They'd probably be in the AFC West if we had to guess.
Probably.
Or in the NFC West.
Either or.
Because they're in the West.
Yeah, they are.
They are
indeed
in the West.
Yeah, nice geography.
Yeah. My second team for the NFL, I think we should go back to San Diego.
Absolutely.
You think so?
Absolutely. I loved watching the Chargers when. I'm not even a Chargers fan.
Yeah.
I'm all the way in Wisconsin for mine. I'm a Packers fan, but I loved watching Chargers games. It was always sunny. I never watched one rain game there. It was always, and I remember the Packers going. They would have to go see Phillip Rivers and company, and they're going.
Damian Tomlinson, maybe.
Exactly. Maybe some LT, Antonio Gates. Some legends came from San Diego.
Eric Weddle.
Yeah. Bring it back. This is the petition to bring it back to San Diego.
Now, do you think there's more chance that they get an expansion team or the Chargers move back?
Ooh, good question. I think the Chargers are thriving right now in LA.
You think?
The fan base from the Rams is a lot better.
Yeah.
So I think they probably should move.
Yeah.
Will they move? No. Because why would they move all the way to LA for nothing?
And San Diego is still a Chargers market.
It is.
It
is. There are still a ton of Chargers fans.
Chargers fans.
I see it all over Twitter, all over Instagram, all of this.
And what's crazy is they're a big city in California, and they only have one team, the Padres. And those fans are crazy.
They're nuts.
Padres fans are crazy. We've seen San Diego in the NFL, obviously, but we've seen the fans, and they want a team back, I think. They just need a new stadium. Their old stadium was old.
It was bad.
It was just old.
But you put a new stadium.
Put a nice new
maybe
stadium and sunny.
A retractable dome.
Maybe.
You give them some sunshine through the glass.
You're hosting Super Bowls there.
Yeah.
You're hosting Super Bowls in San Diego.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like Vegas next year. And I think that was a great starting point, Charles. But I'm gonna move my next team in a market. I think another sleeper. I'm gonna go to Portland, Oregon.
Oh, come on.
And they're gonna be right alongside the Blazers.
What about the Ducks? The Oregon Ducks.
But let's think about it. The Oregon Ducks. The last time they were good, really good, Marcus Mariota. But even then, they had highlighter jerseys with neon yellow and pink and orange. And who cares? Come on, bring a real team in that state. Let's go. Let's go Oregon.
We see the Blazers. It's a good market for sports. I just don't think an NFL team would thrive there as much as another city. Portland, I think, you see with the Blazers, they have a really good fan base when they're good. When they're good. When they're bad, not many people show up.
So you're saying they're not good this year?
The Blazers?
No, I'm saying, do you think the attendance is good?
I haven't looked at the numbers, but I don't think that people are showing up to Blazers games right now, especially with Dame out.
True. And
I don't think it's a big city, a big enough city, to sustain an NFL team.
But that would be an instant rival against the Seattle Seahawks.
It would be. It would be. But do the Seahawks need another rival?
Good question. I don't even think I can answer that right now. I think what I'm going to do is get into my next team before this gets too heated.
Okay.
My last team is just like San Diego. We got to bring it back. And St. Louis, got to bring it back. And these fans were crazy. Charlie is a Bills fan.
Yep.
But this comes to this is a close second for the craziest fans, and that was Oakland. Go Bills. Oakland, they were nuts. They were crazy.
They were.
Just give them a new stadium. Don't put them with the A's.
No.
That's just disrespectful.
And we're going to get to the A's in a little bit. Trust me. We're going to get to you, A's.
Absolutely. But Oakland, most definitely. Bring it back. build a new stadium, get that fan base in Oakland something to root for. I mean, they don't want to be rooting for some team out in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Mhm.
They want to be rooting for a team that's right down the street from them.
Now, do we think the Raiders are not moving?
No.
They're staying in
That's going to be a new
Vegas.
team, new name.
Yeah. So, do we think that there's enough people that can move on from being Raiders fans in Oakland? Because I'm sure
If
there's
they're
still
in Oakland, I'm telling you right now, if they're in Oakland and they live in Oakland, I'm not saying this because I live in Oakland. I'm saying this because I think this. But if they're in Oakland, they were pissed when they went to Vegas.
they were.
So I think if they move a team in there, all those Raiders fans, boom, they're Oakland fans.
So you
now.
think just like St. Louis?
Just like St.
Okay.
Louis.
Okay. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, Oakland, they would definitely need a new stadium, but other than that, I can't think of a reason why they should not have a team.
I agree.
Instant rival with San Francisco.
Yep.
In
Hey,
whatever division
they might
they'd
be
be.
a rival with their old team.
With the Raiders,
They
exactly.
definitely could be.
I
That'd
didn't
be a
even think
fun
about
one.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how I didn't think about that. Here we go, Gav.
And you know what? I think Charles was talking to me before the show today, and he is so out of line right now. Out of line.
Out of line.
This is our out of line take right here.
I think the NFL should move out of America. Not the whole league. Just bring a few teams in from out of the country.
You know,
And Gavin does not like that.
No, let me explain. You bring a team to London. I mean, those boys. I mean, that's a long jet lag for them. I mean, they're gonna be exhausted. That's bad football. I know this because I'm a Packers fan. We watched it against the Giants. I mean, I think the Giants are a good football team, but Aaron Rodgers is not losing to the Giants. I think jet lag got all of them there.
Then how about this, Gavin?
I'm listening.
What about not London?
Really?
I got two cities for you that aren't London.
Let's hear
And
it.
they're in two different countries.
Okay. I think you're getting a little crazy. Let's hear it.
You think I'm out of line?
You're out of line right now. You're so out of line, Charles.
Really?
So out of line.
My first city is Mexico City. We've seen teams play in Mexico City, and those fans are wild.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's a good city to go to, but the only thing is, like, I thought I remember that, like, all of them were, like, Raiders fans.
There is a lot of Raiders fans in
So would they just
Mexico.
instantly stop just like how Oakland would?
I mean, I don't know. I guess we would have to see, but I think if Mexico got its own team, that would be the country's team.
Yeah, no, that's
That's
very
Mexico's team.
It's kinda like how
Especially
the-
in the capital city,
Yeah, I mean, that's like how, like, the Raptors are... Like,
Canada's team.
They literally go by, we are the North. They
Yeah.
say that all the time.
Exactly.
Would they go, we are the South?
No.
No?
I mean, I think that's the Raptors. I can't claim. I think the Raptors are the only ones
They
that can maybe
trademarked that.
they can claim a direction
Yeah.
and not get any backlash for it.
Yeah.
Mexico City would be a great city, I think, to host an NFL team.
I mean, this one's a hot take. Absolutely.
Really?
I think so. I mean, like, if you think about it, the reason why so many fans go there is because there's maybe 1 or 2 games a year. And if you have a game, you have a team there that's there for 8 or 9 games a year, I want to see it get filled every single time. I don't know if it can.
I think it
I know
can.
Mexico's, like, really big in soccer. I mean, there's nothing
It
against
is.
that. But, like,
And I think that the sport of football is massive around the world. More than we know, I think, being in America.
football or football?
Football.
American
American football.
football. All right.
Yeah. I think it's bigger in Mexico than we realize, or I could be totally wrong.
You could be.
But
you never know.
for right now, I guess Gavin is calling me out of line. But
It's out on.
what if that wasn't the only city
You're
out of
getting-
the country?
You're getting really out of line now, Charles. Out of line.
What if it wasn't the only team out of the country? What if we had a team in the north, Toronto, Canada?
Okay, you know, I'm going to stop you right there. You even said yourself, I guarantee I remember you saying something, but you said you've been to Toronto, and everybody's a Bills fan there. Why would they just want another team?
I have been to Toronto, and I'm going to use your words against you.
Really?
When they have a team, they are for that team. Like, that's why we didn't put in our NHL segment. That's why we didn't put another Toronto team. The Maple Leafs are Toronto's team. You can't put another team there and expect there to be attendance in the NHL. You just can't. But in the NFL, they have a CFL team. CFL
The
isn't
Argonauts.
CFL isn't even popular in Canada. But the NFL is. That Bills have played games in Toronto. Yeah, they did.
Really?
When Fitzpatrick was the quarterback.
Wow, Fitz
And we had
magic.
Steve-
Bills legend.
They
guys.
they had an international series in Toronto, just like they have in London now. I remember the Bills played a game there every year for a few years when the Bills were rumored to move.
Really?
Yeah, fans showed up. People came from Buffalo. That was part of the attendance there. But there was plenty of Canadian fans there. Yes, they might be Bills fans, but I think as soon as you get a team up in Toronto, they would instantly become whatever the name of the team is. They would instantly become Toronto football fans.
The Argonauts.
It could be.
You know, you never know.
Never know.
And I think that's going to conclude the NFL. Now let's move on to the last major league sport, Major League Baseball.
Major League Baseball. And
Yeah.
this is a sport that desperately
Dying.
needs
They
to
are dying for it.
expand. Desperately. And the sport, I mean, they've made some strides to get more engaged with fans, and I think it's worked out pretty well. But I think what else can you do to get more fans than go to more markets? The MLB has a problem with, like, blackouts
Yeah.
with TV.
Strikes.
And a few of the markets that have issues with it are the ones that want teams. So how are you supposed to grow to those cities if you can't reach them through TV? You can't.
Yeah.
Unless you
no,
put a
you're
team
right.
there.
You're right. You're right. I'm going to have to agree on that one, absolutely.
Okay, so we agree on
Two.
two of the four.
2 of the 4. That's 50% right
That's
there,
50%.
Carlos. Hey, if we're shooting 50%
If my
for the
math-
3, that's great.
If my math is mathing, that is 50%.
Absolutely.
All right, so Gavin, you want to?
Yeah, I'll kick us off. I mean, now this should be an obvious, just like basketball.
Yep.
I think Vegas. Just
Vegas.
You got to keep growing that market.
Yep.
That market's hot.
They could have 4
Within a couple years.
within a couple years.
Within the next 5 years, they could have all 4 major league sports.
And A's fans, all 100 of you that could potentially be listening to this right now, Vegas is looking for you. The AAA team is already in Vegas.
Yeah.
They have a stadium that is ready to be built up.
Yeah.
And
They're ready to extend it.
they're ready to extend the stadium
Yeah.
to
Just-
get
yeah.
more seats there to have an MLB team.
I
They are
agree.
ready for an MLB team in Vegas, and the league has been talking about it. You just plug in the name, Las Vegas A's. Keep everything the same.
Yeah, I don't even
You
like
just
that.
plug it in.
I don't even like that.
No, people didn't like Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah,
They kept
I'll
it.
be,
It's
I'll be
grown on
honest.
people, right?
I did not like that at the beginning.
I think it would grow on people more than they realize. And I think if Oakland's not going to do their due diligence and build a new stadium for the A's, they're going to lose them, and they're going to lose all of their pro sports teams.
Yeah. Oh, it's a make or break decade for Oakland, in
Yep.
my opinion. I think it's a make or break.
And they broke. They
So
lost the
far-
Warriors. They lost the Raiders. They're about to lose the A's.
So far, they might be in shambles.
They could be.
I hope they're not. I absolutely hope they're not, but they could be.
They could be. But Vegas, regardless, I think deserves a team, whether it be the A's or an expansion team.
I agree.
A second city whose AAA numbers are always at the top.
Out of this park, baby. Let's go.
Nashville,
No pun intended.
Tennessee.
Oh, Nashville, baby.
Nashville. They are a loud city. They love baseball there. Look at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Tennessee baseball is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they got the fans. They got the Predators. The Predators
The Predators
are unreal. Titans fans,
Yep.
they might be a little bit more quiet, but
they're
they show
growing.
up.
They're growing.
They show up.
Growing.
And then we got the Grizzlies in Memphis over there. I know it's not the same city,
But it's still
in the same
state.
state,
Still in the same
and I'm sure that the Memphis Grizzlies fans would
They would appreciate it.
Nashville baseball fans.
Absolutely.
They also have a stadium there that they could go right to right away, and I think it would be a great city to expand to because there's really nothing in the area.
Come on, bring it back to the Rocks, or bring it to the Rock City.
There's-
to the Rock City.
There is no team around Nashville.
There's not, and I think if you put a team right there, smack dab in Nashville, I mean, that's a growing market. I think. I mean, you put the Preds, you put the Titans, you got Memphis around the corner, not really, but pretty close enough. I mean, I think that state of Tennessee is buzzing.
Mm-hmm.
The boys are buzzing.
The boys are buzzing. My next team for the MLB, it's near Nashville. It's near Nashville.
Why would you put two near each other?
Because there's nothing else around it.
Okay, you know, I'll sit back and listen right now.
It is Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right, I actually love this one. This one's
Yeah.
good. This one's good.
If you fill in Nashville and Charlotte, you're building the bridge between the Orioles and Nationals and the Braves.
Yeah.
And the Reds.
Yeah.
And every other team around them.
Very true.
Those are two cities that have high AAA attendance numbers,
Yeah.
and they love baseball in the South.
Gotta bring in baseball.
Why are we not putting baseball
And
in
I
the
mean,
South?
you think about Charlotte. I mean, you have the Panthers over there. I mean, my uncle sees the Panther Stadium right from his office.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the Hornets, who my cousin Sean loves to go to Hornets games. And then you have the Hurricanes, which they're not in Charlotte. They're in Raleigh. But I mean,
their fans,
yeah,
I'm sure a lot
It's
of their
close
fans
enough.
live in Charlotte.
it's close enough.
Yeah.
And I think Carolina, I think that's a great – it's like Charlotte's just a great city to build some sports. in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great city. I love it.
They also have a stadium that is ready to be.
Wow,
Their stadium, I suggest go to Google, type in the Charlotte Stadium for baseball. I think their name's the Charlotte Knights, is their AAA team. And their stadium's backdrop is unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
They got the whole city skyline in the background. They have, like I said, they have the market, and fans want baseball in Charlotte, North Carolina, I think.
I mean, I have a picture of it up right now. You literally just see city. Right in the outfield, just city. I mean, come on, it doesn't get much better than that.
It does not.
I mean, you have some skyscrapers. I mean, it looks like the sunset's nice there. I mean, bring Charlotte some baseball.
Let's go.
Absolutely. And that's going to bring me to my next one, who I think this market could definitely grow over this. They already have a Major League Sport team there. Bring a baseball team to New Orleans. I think there's a big gap right there. I think the gap there is too big. And I think if you put a team right in New Orleans with the Saints, I think almost all Saints fans could grow to love a New Orleans baseball team.
They also have a AAA team in New Orleans. So
You know
I
your
don't
AAA.
I don't know. Yeah, I do. Works
for the Buffalo Bison.
I do
Shout
work
out
for the Buffalo
Bison.
Bisons. Go Bisons. Yeah, they have a AAA team in New Orleans. I'm not sure how popular baseball is down there.
I'm
but
not either, but we could find out.
We could find out very easily if they just move a team there.
Absolutely.
See if it
I
does
think
well.
New Orleans, I mean, when you think of New Orleans, you think of a lot of fun.
Yep.
And you got Mardi Gras. You have a lot of fun already there. You already have the Saints, and I think the Saints could be growing. They just got Derek Carr.
Pelicans.
The Pelicans. I mean, just plug in a team. I
Yep.
feel like I keep saying that. You just got to keep plugging in teams.
And like we said, baseball in the South go right together.
They do.
So Charlotte, Nashville, New Orleans.
And, like, these cities we're kind of naming, I mean, this is, like, these are cities you don't need baseball domes either. I mean, I feel like that's coming more of a thing. But,
Yeah.
like, don't make it a thing. It's a
No.
ballpark.
Yep.
Come on. It's a ballpark.
Yep. I'm going to give you this one. I want to
Okay.
end on
Okay.
one that I'm very passionate about.
Okay. So I already said the city. I said the city for the NFL. And if we just keep bringing teams to this city, I think it can grow. And that's Portland.
I
mean,
don't like it.
I don't know why. I'm not even a Blazers fan. I mean, I know our friend is. Shout out Tommy.
Tommy.
But I think Portland, you can grow in that. You can grow in that city. I mean, I know it's not the biggest city. I know it's not like Houston or like New York, but I think Portland is like a staple for that state. I mean, I'm not positive. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I assume that you can grow around Portland. And if you put a baseball team in there, I think that would be at one hell of a ballpark right there.
And I don't know the market for Portland baseball at all, but Portland's been in the discussion of expansion for the MLB for a long time, just with Vegas and Nashville and these cities that we've been naming. But I don't. Maybe I'm a Portland hater. I don't know, but I don't know why
It
people
sounds
want
like you
to.
are.
I don't know why. I would rather see. I'd probably rather see an MLB team in Portland than NFL, but
Yeah.
it's not by much. I don't know why Portland is such a big city for people to want to expand to, but maybe it's just because they want to try to create that rivalry with the Mariners,
Seattle,
maybe.
Exactly.
I know it's right
And that
there.
brings me to my point for the whole Portland thing. I mean, Seattle is a great sports city. You match it up against Portland. Now you put a basketball team there. Now you put a football team in Portland. Now you put a basketball team back in Seattle. I mean, there are so many rivalries that are only a state over from each other that can just butt heads and have a ton of fun, and the fans would love it.
That's
The
true.
fans love rivalries.
I agree with that, but I still don't know if Portland could sustain a team.
I think
They don't have a AAA team, I don't believe. I don't think they ever did, and I don't know a team that is based in Portland at all.
So maybe they start off with a AAA team, see if it does well. They keep growing. Boom, MLB. That's 31 now. Well, which could be 32.
Yep.
Hopefully, my
Could be
goal,
33.
I hope they go to 34.
Yeah.
Like eventually. I think they should start off, but when they do expand, don't go with one, go with two. Just boom, two right in there.
2
all
right
once.
away.
I
Do the
agree.
drafts together.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't do what what the NHL did was fine. They weren't ready for 32 at the time.
But, I think maybe they should have held out a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think then again, if we look back, I think they just wanted to see how successful Vegas was, and they saw that, and now Seattle's successful. So maybe every league will follow along with this.
And before I get to my last MLB team, I do want to give the NHL credit because
Absolutely.
they started. There was a halt in expansion
A long
in Major
time.
League Sports since the Texans came in. They were the newest team for a long time, and then the Knights came in 16 years later.
Yeah.
Just like kind of out of the blue,
Yeah,
a little bit. Nobody was talking about Las Vegas did not have a team. It feels weird
There
to
was
say
not
now.
even a market there.
It wasn't even a market, and it kind of just came out of the blue.
And now-
because of their success,
They're growing.
Vegas is growing, but the other leagues are starting to talk about look what
looking,
happened.
yeah.
They're looking now for expansion, not just in Vegas, but every other city.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so without the Golden Knights in the NHL, I don't think that we're talking about this at
Yeah, we're
all.
not even talking about Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Not at all.
I think they're all
Maybe
just
not even expansions.
keeping it
This
consistent.
might not even be an episode without the
No,
Golden
exactly.
Knights getting that. But I think Charlie should mention your last city because, folks, you're gonna love this one just as much as I do.
I am sure the Canadian fans love me after this episode.
Absolutely.
We need the Expos back.
Absolutely. Bring them back.
We need the Expos
I
back.
love that logo.
Yeah.
Don't change the colors. Don't change the logo.
No.
Don't change the name. Because if you don't have Expos, I don't want Montreal
No,
at all.
just like the Supersonics,
We have so many teams on this list.
we don't want anything else.
Just give us the Expos.
We want the Expos, and we want them bad, honestly.
We need them.
I mean, think about this. Think about adding the Nordiques and the Expos.
Dude, come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Quebec is rocking.
The boys are buzzing.
The boys are buzzing.
Come on.
The city of Montreal, they had a exhibition game with the
Oh,
Blue
really?
Jays there.
Oh, I
I think
know.
it was last year, 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
They sold that place out.
Dude, I'm telling you, they miss baseball.
I know it's a small sample size, one game, but
Small
they might have played. They might have played more than one game there. They
You
might
never
have played
know.
a series. It was a spring training game.
Do they still have a ballpark? Did they take it down?
They do still have a ballpark. I'm not sure if that's the one they would play in.
Okay, so maybe they need some renovations. Or...
They might need some renovations or just a whole new ballpark. But I do think that there was rumored that the Rays were going to split time in Montreal. They were going to do half their season home
wow.
games in Tampa and half of them in Montreal because they weren't getting enough fans in Tampa.
I think Montreal. I just love just the sound of the Expos.
Yeah,
That
sounds
just
great.
It just sounds like it's like a throwback, but it's like every game's a throwback. How much fun
Yeah.
would it be looking at a game? Like we're both Yankees fans. I would love watching a Yankees Expos game.
You would feel comfortable watching the Expos play. Now, they moved to Washington when we were born.
Yeah, yeah, right.
2004, they moved. We didn't even mention Montreal Canadiens yet and their fans.
They are.
You're telling me
nuts.
that they're not going to want a baseball team back? I think they had riots in the streets because they want a baseball team back. Montreal's notorious for riots in the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think so. After the Canadians lose in the playoffs, sometimes they
Yeah, they get a little crazy.
Yeah, they get a little crazy.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you
Thank
guys
you.
enjoyed it. Leave some feedback if you could.
Please.
Our my Instagram is __ Gavin Williams,
My Instagram is at 14ccaleri.
and we love to hear some feedback. We hope you guys enjoy. Tune in for the next one. We have some good stuff cooking in the pot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And everybody have a nice day, and we'll see you on the next one.